guys, and welcome to the Project Planche warm-up. This is just an informational video for you to make the warm-up, which we use for every single workout in this routine, a bit more than something on just a piece of paper. And I don't want to keep repeating this on every single video I make, so it's best to make one single video that you can keep referring back to. So we're going to start off with 5 minutes of steady state cardio. I don't do cardio on a regular basis, but this is just great for getting the blood flowing and preventing injury. We're then going to move on to Ido Portal back shoulder band mobility. Now the full video by Ido is in the description down below, but I'm going to briefly talk you through what I do because I think it's slightly different. So I'm essentially working with 10 to 15 reps on each of the positions that I'm in. So I started with some external rotator cuff movement, and I went to that lateral raise that you just saw me doing then. I'm then going to flip around and go into the planche position, but with the boundless resistance, and kind of just warm up my shoulders and bicep tendons in this position. So with all of these following ones, we're going to do between 10 and 15 reps, and we're going to start with some clockwise rotations, then some anti-clockwise rotations, and then some forward and back motion. So it's 3 different ranges of motion, each for 10 to 15 reps, just to really warm up those muscles and tendons. We're then going to go into this hyperextension position here and repeat that clockwise, anti-clockwise, and back and forward range of motion. And this is going to really warm up your bicep tendon and your shoulder joint. We're then going to go into the chest level one, and this is again going to warm up your bicep tendon as well as your chest. And this one really does give you a really nice stretch across your chest, and it helps definitely with your overhead mobility, which is what the one you're watching now is targeted at. This is going to help warm up your shoulders for doing handstands, your lats for doing pull-ups, and also help stretch out your lats for some shoulder mobility as well. So following up these rotations, we're going to go into some dislocates, and this again is for opening up those shoulders and improving our overhead mobility for the handstand and balancing work we're going to be doing in the workouts. We're then going to follow that up with these scapular retractions, and this is a really great way to activate the scapula, as it really is important for these bodyweight movements. So following our Ido Portal band warm-up, we're also going to use his squat routine, as it's particularly useful. So I'm a big fan of Ido and also all the movement he does. So I generally use his warm-ups as I find that great for mobility and getting the blood flowing. So like before, we're going to do 10 to 15 reps in each position we're at. We're going to start off with these knee pushes, and you're just trying to push the knee away from the hip and really get some movement right into that bottom position of the squat in that hip. We're then now going to go into these deep squat sort of forward folds. It does look really silly because I've sped it up, but essentially you're just trying to touch your head to the ground, and you're going to get a nice stretch up your lower back and glutes for this one. We're then going to switch around to these rotations, and you're just trying to rotate and put your arm in the sky while holding onto your opposite leg. So this is great for the lower back and rear delt. I often get some cracking when I come in here after I've been sat down for a while, so I really do love this warm-up. It makes you feel nice and loose and supple. And then now we're going to swap over to the classic knee to elbow pushaways. So you're just trying to move around and warm up your abductors and really just get comfortable in that squat position, as we're going to be using our legs actually a fair amount in a lot of these exercises. Next, we're getting on to our wrists, and I recommend the Gold Medal Bodies wrist warm-up. Again, link to the full video will be in the description if you want to go look at theirs. I don't follow that in this particular video, I kind of just make it up as I go along. What I do is I make sure I warm up each part. So here I'm warming up my wrist flexors, and I make sure by doing that with some leans and then those kind of push-ups, and I'm also going to warm up my wrist extensors, and I'm going to do the same thing with some leans and then some sort of push-ups with those wrists in that position. And as you probably know, the wrists are going to take quite a beating during some of our balancing work for like planche and handstands, so it's really important to warm these guys up so you don't injure them. I then go into some of these circles, which I really like, again for just putting that range of motion to the wrists, anti-clockwise or clockwise, and then the reverse. And that's again just great for warming everything up, especially those wrist flexors. After this, we're going to follow up with a few wrist push-ups just to sort of strengthen. And before we go into some more wrist warm up, as well as just finding our handstand balance with these handstand holds, if you can't do these freestanding, then do them against the wall. They're just good for warming up the shoulders and the wrists. Next we're going to do some burpees. This is to warm up our pushing muscles, our legs, and just generally get some more blood flowing after a little bit of a static initial warm up. Then we're going to head off into these skin the cats. Now I find these brilliant for warming up my back muscles as well as warming up the bicep tendons, which get put up under a lot of strain during movements like the planche. So it's very important to have these bad boys warmed up. You don't want to rip a bicep, as that would be a bad time. So I just do a few reps of this, nothing too strenuous, just kind of, again, warming up those shoulders, warming up those biceps, make sure we're not going to injure ourselves. But that is it, guys. Download the full program in the description below and look out for my newest series out soon. Peace.